What is up, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice. So with the invention of the internet and everyone being able to express themselves and provide their stupid ass opinions, I don't think, I know for a fact that it has made humanity even stupider than it already was. And that's because you have a bunch of stupid people or paid, influencers that are like spreading bullshit and lies. Like that's pretty much what the internet is, right? Like paid for influencers to like feed you propaganda narratives so that you believe all the bullshit, and then everybody's saying the same thing with their stupid ass opinions. So this is detrimental to humanity, if anything, right? This isn't helpful information, and these aren't facts. One of the bullshit narratives that has been going around for the longest time that, people have been saying, about everything and every event that happens is, weather warfare and weather modification, right? When it comes to Palestine, in these areas, when it comes to Palestine, why didn't Israel and America just flood them out? Right? Since we have all this sophisticated weaponry, right? If they really wanted the Palestinian people out of there instead of committing genocide, why didn't they just use weather warfare, and just flood them out? Because then you can skip all the bullshit narratives and all the genocide evidence, and it would be plausible deniability, right? Like, because nobody can prove or for sure say that like weather warfare is real or that it is happening, right? People swear up and down that they can do this, and then every event that happens, they're like, it's weather warfare. Oh, but the government did it, right? And I'm like, well, why didn't they present that to, our leaders when they were like, we want the Palestinian people out, and we want to get rid of them. Israel wants to get rid of them, and it's like, well, their advisors weren't like, sir, we should administer and activate the weather warfare program. And he's like, the weather warfare program? And he's like, yes, sir. It would be plausible deniability, right? Like, and nobody can pinpoint it on us because, well, we wouldn't have to drop any bombs. It would be cheaper, and no one really knows that we can do this, right? He's like, that's a good idea. Why don't we just flood them out? Because we can make it look like a terrible, phenomenal event that, like, God had inspired, and then we could just say, like, God inspired this because he wants Israel to have this land, right? They could just say it was a biblical event, right? That is proof that God wants them to have this land, right? Because they've been promised it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this would have been the smart way to go, right? But instead they chose to just bomb the fuck out of it and choose genocide, and they don't care what you think about it, right? Like, even if you know that it's genocide and you call them out on it, they're like, nah, that's not genocide. No, like killing, and then they're like, we're just killing terrorist militants. But it's like, well, I only see like children and like harmless people coming out of the rubble though, right? Where are the soldiers and all the weapons that you destroyed? I just see like civilian buildings being destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm assuming all these buildings had terrorists in them. Like, I don't know, there's like a before and after picture right here, right? And it's like a whole city. And you're telling me that every building was occupied by terrorists? So basically, like, you're saying that like you blew up one building and either they had already left that building by the time you bombed it, or they just like went to the next building. They're like, oh shucks, good thing we have this next building, which is right. And they're like, we'll bomb that one too, right? Until we finally get all you guys, right? We're gonna bomb every building, right? Until we finally get it right. And I'm like, man, maybe their intel just really sucks, even though they say that they got the best intel, right? And it's like, well, like, I don't know, like really bad intel, or like maybe like something just doesn't add up here, right? But either way, like, why not use weather? Why weren't the advisors like, sir, we should just initiate the weather warfare program? He's like, yeah, good idea. We'll just like chalk it up to God's divine inspiration, right? It would be perfect. And all the Christians would be like, oh my gosh, this is proof, right? Instead of like everybody just blaming you for genocide and just like obviously seeing that you're like murdering innocent people, right? Like you could have skipped all that bullshit, right? But instead, like you chose to not care and you're just like, we're just going to bomb them, right? I mean, doesn't it seem smarter and cheaper? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.